If you're looking for a magic pill, you're going to go your whole life waiting for that magic pill because there is no magic pill. We think a lot of times that we could just take some course and then the next day we're some multimillionaire. We could just have one mentorship call with one individual and we're going to be some overnight success. There is no overnight success. There is no magic pill. And once we get that out of our head, we can begin to realize that the process, the process, and I say process because it's going to be a process to get to your end goal, your destination, not necessarily the end goal, because when you get to your destination, there's still going to be some things that you have to figure out. You've just reached the destination. Now what? But we live in a time where it's instant gratification. And my goal is to help you not get caught up in instant gratification, things happening immediately. And that doesn't exist. You don't become great or even good by practicing something, doing something one day, 2 days. It could take people decades before they actually evolve and become the person that they want to be. But the problem is, too many people give up because they did something for a year and they're not that person. They did something for a year, like their fitness, let's say their health. They were consistently eating right. They were exercising and they thought they were going to lose 50 pounds, but they didn't get to that goal. They lost 25. And then they say to themselves, I did all this work and I didn't reach my goal. But they didn't realize to reach the 50 pounds, it might take them another year to get there. But they give up and then they undo or rewind all the work they put in. They just give up on it. They gain back the 25 pounds. They move backwards instead of forwards, right? And that's because of patience. And you wanted to get to your goal quicker. That's essentially what it comes down to. You want to get to your goal too quick. But why do you want to get to your goal so quick? What is the huge rush? Like, I get it. Like, you want that massive home. You want all that money in your bank account. I understand. But you're going to realize the funnest part about that journey that you're going to go on is the process. Imagine you woke up and you had everything you wanted already. There's no fun in that. And I think some people will come on here and say, yeah, I wish I had everything that I wanted from when I was 10 years old. But then you would get to 18 and you would be like, what's next? I have everything I want. So the fun part of life is actually evolving as a person, growing as a person, developing as a person, figuring out who you are and what your purpose is here, and bringing that purpose to the world and developing yourself. So that is the fun part about life, right? But people can't see it from that perspective sometimes. They see it from a different perspective, you know? I didn't grow up in a rich family. I don't have this, I don't have that. But that's the joy of life, is you get to develop into that person. You get to grow into that person. That's the fun part. If you could change your perspective, when things get hard, you're not going to stop. When things go your way, you're going to move on. When adversity comes, you're going to be able to bounce back, right? If you have that perspective in your mind. And that's the goal of this channel, is to give you that perspective, is to make you see that you could reach the level that you want to reach to. You could get to the goal that you want for yourself. But that's not going to come without a lot of sacrifice, a lot of dedication, a lot of discipline, maybe a little bit of pain. You'll be okay. You're going to make it. You'll be fine. Get up, stand up to the challenge, because the challenge that you're going to go through is going to help you evolve, grow into a great person, to a person that's going to be able to manage life. Because life is not easy. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to be thrown at you. But when you're choosing to develop yourself and grow yourself, when things are thrown at you in life, you're going to be able to manage it, to deal with it, to handle it. But if you're not choosing to grow yourself, if you're not choosing to develop yourself, when life throws you things, it's going to tear you down. It's going to break you down. And the sad part about it is when life tears you down, when life breaks you down, that can lead to like depression, right? And when that leads to depression, some people choose to start using drugs, alcohol, right? To make them feel better, essentially, right? And sometimes it's okay not to feel good all the time. I don't feel good 100% of the time. I don't think anybody in this life feels 100% good all the time. Only God can feel good all the time. You're going to have moments where you're frustrated. Maybe you're sad. Maybe you're angry. You're going to have all these different type of emotions, and that is normal. That is all part of the human experience. But overall, you should have an attitude of gratitude. You should have the mentality that life is a gift, because not everyone gets life. Not everybody. Consider yourself blessed if you're watching this video. Consider yourself blessed if you have a life. Remember that, all right? And a lot of times people are going through similar things. I don't know why people have in their head that everybody is rich or everybody was given a silver spoon or everybody's privileged. That's not the case. It may appear that that's the case because we have social media, which can portray you as a multi-millionaire when you don't have any money, or can portray you as an entrepreneur, but you have a job and you've never done any type of business. That's the generation, the world we live in. That's what you're seeing. That's not the case. There's more people that did not have a silver spoon. There's more people that are not privileged. There's more people that are not in the multi-millionaire household growing up than there is in that. There's a lot less people that grew up in the 1%, the elite class, or the elite financially, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot less people. A lot of people that you see on YouTube have podcasts. These are people that from the mud, from the dirt, built it up. Not every single person was given a show or an episode or an existing YouTube channel. Not everyone walks into an existing YouTube channel. It already has subscribers. It already has a following. That doesn't exist, but in our head, we think that's the reality. You think that the people that you watch online, the people that are successful, were just given that. And that's not the case. The majority of people work for that. They earn that. So if they can do it, why not you? If they're able to create the life they want, why not you? Because you're in your own way. You're stopping yourself. You don't have the right mindset. You're not willing to go through the challenges. You're not willing to experience adversity. You're not willing to pivot. You're not willing to learn. You're not willing to be patient. So those are some of the reasons why you don't get to where you want. And it's simple. And they'll tell you that as well too. There's so many people that came from nothing and they made something. There's so many people that came from a little and made something, right? And there's so many people that had everything and they blew it and didn't become anything. Even if something is given to you, even if something is passed down to you, you still have to do the work, regardless. Your family could pass you some business, but that doesn't mean you show up to the business and you're not going to do any work. They may have built it up, but who's going to carry it, sustain it, build it, grow it? So no matter what, you cannot escape the work. So a lot of us think that we can escape work. And it's been a cool thing to post things online like you don't have to work and you could be free. And I hear all these different things, but at the end of the day, if you can't even do your basic job, then how do you expect to create a different life for yourself? There's so many people that, complain about their job. They hate their job. They're like, I just want to be a business owner or an entrepreneur, or I want to create a life for myself that, no one's ever imagined. You hear this all the time online. And then you actually look inside their life and you realize that they cutting corners at work. They're not showing up consistently at work. They're checked out. They leave the minute the job is over. They come in a minute before the job. Yet they have these big visions to be some grand person. That's not realistic. It's great to be delusional, but you also have to be realistic. How can you be delusional if you're actually not doing extra work, you're not grinding, you're not putting in the work, the extra hours, you're not finding ways to grow, how can you be thinking in your mind that you're going to be some ultimate success when you actually haven't done any of that type of work? I don't want to come online and lie to you and tell you that you could just snap your fingers and you're going to have exactly what you want. If it were that easy, then all of us would have that. Wouldn't you think? Why is the upper class such a small percentage? Don't you think everybody would want to be financially free? Would want to have a lot of finances in their bank? Of course. Of course. So at the end of the day, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Information is out there, and it can become a little bit harder because there's so much information out there. So what you really need to do is filter your information. And the more I discover that you filter your information, once you start filtering your information and you put certain information in your head, you're going to start seeing that information that you filtered in your head, in your reality, right? I want you to think about that one. So whatever I'm putting in my head, whatever it is, whatever I'm seeing, it doesn't matter. It could be anything that I'm putting inside here. You know, I'm studying whatever it is day in and day out. It's in my head. Essentially, you're going to see that. You're creating that future for yourself. You know, you will create your own future. We have a lot more power than we think, right? And it's all going on up top here, right? It starts with up here. If you got this right, and you can really focus what's going on inside, you're going to see it on the outside, in your life, in your reality, good or bad. Good or bad. I want to warn you of that, good or bad. Because you could have all bad, negative, everything playing in here, and you're seeing all that, and you're focusing on the bad. You will begin to see that. Not to say that you still won't experience bad in your life because you have all these positive thoughts. Just because I think positive, I read positive books, I surround myself with positive people, doesn't mean I'm not going to go through negative experiences. I understand that. That is a part of life. But it's a lot more powerful to have a positive mindset than a negative mindset. Because with a negative mindset, you're guaranteed to fail. But with a positive mindset, you at least give yourself an opportunity to win in life, to be a leader, to have people follow you, to get the most out of life when you have a positive mindset. Don't you want the most out of this short life that we all have? Because I know I do. I know anybody watching me does as well too. And I'm just one person. There's so many creators out there that you can listen to, that you can follow, that if you're lacking, you know, in a department in your life, whatever it is, in your leadership, personal development, mindset, this is a good space for that. But there might be other areas that you need assistance with. And you should find those people that are going to help you strengthen that, because you should work on the weaknesses that you have. Of course, strengthen your strengths already. The strong parts of your life that you already have, it's good to strengthen that. But at the same time, you also want to be working on the weaknesses that you have. And if this channel doesn't fill out weakness, there's so much people out there that you can find that's going to help you, whatever area of your life you want to improve that you're weak in, whatever area it is. Finances, health, financial, whatever it is, wealth, whatever. You know, fitness, it could be whatever, relationships, whatever area of your life, the information is out there. So if you're not finding it, it's because you're not looking, you're not going for it. You know, stop spending all your life not going after the things you want. Because when you get to a certain point in your life and later in your life, you're going to look back and say, I wasted my life. I didn't do anything with my life. And when you leave, we're going to look inside your life and people are going to say, he didn't do anything. She didn't do anything. They just let life pass them by. Don't be that person. You have a gift. You're special. God blessed you. You know, he gave you an opportunity. You got to see the opportunity that you've been given. Whatever your gift is, discover it. Go after it. Grow it. Bring it out of you. All right? Thank you for tapping into another episode. Marcel, Hyde Mindset. Peace and love. Until next time.